Hi, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hey, how you doing? My name is Ash. I am a makeup artist and a book lover, and today I am ranking all of my rainbow palettes plus an honorable mention. So before I start, I want to say happy Pride. I did do this makeup look in another video, which I'm not sure if I'm posting this one first or that one, but either which way, I say happy Pride in both of them. I just wanted to be comfortable after filming because I've had a long day, so let's just hop into it. So I absolutely love color and rainbow palettes, and they're just, everything about them is so good. So good. So I have 12 palettes to share plus an honorable mention 13, which I'll start with that one. But just because I rank these a certain way doesn't mean I dislike the brand. I like all of these brands, and I only pulled my rainbow palettes that I have actually tried. I do have a couple that's in my pile of palettes I haven't tried yet, but I'm not including those because you won't know how I feel about them, because I don't know how I feel about them. But I have my stack, so let's just get started. I'm going to do an honorable mention for LJ Beauty because this is not technically a rainbow palette, but I do identify as bisexual, and you can't tell me that this is not just the perfect palette for bisexual makeup. Just saying. This is the anniversary palette. This palette was released when they hit their 1-year anniversary. And unfortunately, the owner for LJ Beauty did make a blog post saying that she may be shutting down her shop, which is very, very sad for me because I absolutely love her products, and she's been such a wonderful supporter of me, and she's one of the first brands that gave me a discount code. She has a lot of stuff on sale, so if you want to support an indie brand, please check her out. Buy some of her stuff. Everything is severely marked down, but just show her some support. And yeah, this is the anniversary one palette. I absolutely love it, but it is definitely not rainbow. But the packaging, love that. So ranking at number 12 is a palette that was gifted to me, which I appreciate the brand for, but just in this lineup of rainbow palettes, I just have more that I prefer. So that would be the Electro palette from Medusa's Makeup. This is an indie brand that is actually based in Chicago, and I live in a suburb of Chicago, so it's really cool that the brand is so close to me. And it's not a bad palette. I just don't think that the shadows perform as well as other palettes that I have, and you definitely do get a rainbow. It's just the mattes, you have to really work to build them up a bit. The shimmers are okay, but I feel like they can do better, and they have. This is a palette that is about 2 years old. They gifted this to me literally about 2 years ago when I had my wisdom teeth surgery and right before my dad passed. So I do like this palette, but I also kind of don't like it just because it's tied to such a bad time of my life. But I am very appreciative of Medusa's Makeup, but this one, it's just number 12 for me. Number 11 is going to go to the Radioactive palette by the brand, I'm going to butcher this name, Meliops. I will put it on the screen because I just do not know. This leans a little bit more neon, but it's not a bad palette. It's it's almost on the same level as Medusa's Makeup. I know this brand has done a huge revamp and rebrand, so I'm very excited to see what they come out with next. But this palette is kind of just it's rainbow, it's cute, but it's not my favorite that I have. Now this next one is rainbow adjacent because you can achieve a rainbow look. It's just not a straightforward rainbow, if that makes sense. That would be the Cascabel palette from Bunny Cosmetics. It's a beautiful palette. Really enjoy this one. The shimmers in here are just phenomenal, but you can see you have such an array of colors. It's not necessarily rainbow, but you have your Roy G. Biv in here somewhere, whether it be mattes or shimmers, and it's a great formula. It performs well, it lasts well. The shimmers are the standout compared to the mattes, but again, it's ranked low because there's just a little bit better out there. Number 9 is going to go to one of my all-time favorite palettes, and I hate that it's ranked so low in rainbow, but again, this is also a rainbow adjacent palette. That would be Surge from Bunny Cosmetics, and if I am thinking correctly, I don't think that this palette is available anymore. But this one is more like the grungy or a neon rainbow, because you have all of these deeper tones in here, and you have these bright neons down here, and you have the few shimmers just to make things pop. And I love this palette so much. This is one of my top 10 palettes that I have ever tried. But like I said, it's not completely a rainbow, but you can achieve a rainbow look. It just probably won't be a traditional rainbow, but that's always fun. Number 8 is going to go to the Brainwash palette from Chaotic Cosmetics. So again, this one isn't just a straightforward rainbow, but you do have majority of the rainbow colors in here. I really like this palette. I think the mattes perform very well. The shimmers are like the standout in this palette just because they are so beautiful on the eye, and some of them are shifty. They're just really fun to work with. And this brand as a whole, if I remember correctly, it is a queer-owned brand and they have tons of amazing stuff. So if you're interested in a really unique indie brand, I would suggest Chaotic Cosmetics because some of their products just look so good. And I wish I had the money to buy it. I'm realizing a lot of this is indie brands. Number 7 is gonna go to the Photographic Influencer palette from Mateo Beauty. This is a absolutely gorgeous palette, first of all. And it's not fully 100% rainbow, but you have the red, you have an orangey color, you have the yellow, then you have all these beautiful blues and greens and purples. And this palette is just really special. I really like the formula on it. It's very comparable to most indie brands, I would say. It is a beautiful palette. I really enjoy the formula on here and I need to try this again. Number 6 is going to go to the Beauty Bay Bright palette. This is such a large palette, and I actually just tried this for the first time on TikTok in my palette series, but this is obviously a full-on rainbow palette. It is absolutely beautiful. The shades that I used performed very well, except for, I would say, the shade down here, Wisteria, that did lean a little patchy. I'm not too upset with it because I got it to work, but like purples are a little hard to work with sometimes. I love that it has the rainbow in here, but I also love that it has the neutrals up top, and that just makes this palette very versatile, and that is why it is ranked higher. And I'm very excited to try more from this brand and to try this palette out a few more times. Number 5 is gonna go to another favorite of mine, and that would be Primal from Bunny Cosmetics. Again, I don't think that they still have this palette. I think this was one of the palettes they were phasing out, but this one is just beautiful. So if you have the Blends palette, this palette is similar with the matte, but they're different tones. And I love this one because it does lean a little bit deeper. I love that there's a big white and black pan down here because you can use this white to lighten up some tones. You could use this black to deepen tones and just deepen your look. And the shimmers in here are just absolutely gorgeous. This is one of my favorite palettes. I love this so much. Coming in at number 4 is one of my, again, all-time favorite palettes. Possibly my top 10, definitely in my top 20, and that would be the Ugly palette from Likely Makeup. Like, it's a smaller palette, but it's so cute, and concise, and you can obviously get a full rainbow look with this. There's just something about this palette that I absolutely love. The mattes are incredible, the shimmers are shimmery. I love this. Specifically, this Seraphic shade is so stunning. You can even use it as like a highlight. I love it. So that is number 4. Number 3 is Fade Into Hue by ColourPop. This is the quintessential rainbow palette. This has a mix of mattes and shimmers and satins and glitter, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I do think that in the grand scheme of things, it's not my favorite ColourPop palette, but I love that they did this rainbow palette. I hope that they come out with another version of it where it's like kind of deeper tones, just like a little bit more variety, because you know, you have all these beautiful tones down here and then you get like more like pastel-y up here, and I think just like 1 or 2 more rows that are deep would make this palette even better. But this is so gorgeous and just one of my favorites, and this is number 3. Number 2 and number 1 could be flip-flopped, but I'm putting my number 2 at number 2 because I feel like it's unfair to put it at number 1. I mean, come on. Are you surprised? The Palette Town palette from ColourPop and Pokemon. This is obviously beautiful. So beautiful. It's one of my favorite palettes, favorite collections. Pretty sure it's going to be maybe my favorite palette of the year. There's still 6 months of the year left, so that's a bold statement. I absolutely love this. On my channel, I've done multiple looks with this palette, so if you're interested to see how this performs, those are up now. But I just absolutely love it. The tones in here, the packaging, just everything about this just screams me, and I love it. But of course, my number 1 rainbow palette has to be the original Blends palette from Bunny Cosmetics. This is like the only rainbow palette you would ever need in your life. Yes, all these other ones are fun, especially this one. But if you're looking for just one really solid, always going to be good for you rainbow palette, this is the palette to grab because it is just beautiful. Well, either this one or the Ellis Atlantis collection, because the Ellis Atlantis palette is basically the blends palette, but it has iridescent shimmers in it, and this is an all matte palette, so to each their own. This one is just absolutely beautiful. I use this palette today to do my rainbow liner. It's a palette that I pull out all the time when I want to just have a little something with color. This never fails me. I always love the looks that I come up with, and I am just always so impressed with Bunny Cosmetics. So this is my number one rainbow palette. Obviously this is only a fraction of all the eyeshadow palettes I own, but these are the ones that stood out to me as being like rainbow palettes. So let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what your favorite rainbow palette is, and let me know if you agree with my ranking or not. Obviously moods can change and like the ranking might shift, but I'm happy with how I have it now. So I think that's everything. Before I do my outro, I want you to let me know, do I sound a little bit different to you? Because I finally got a mic. I spent the money I shouldn't have spent to get it, but if it helps me, it's worth the investment. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe, give this video a like, and if you want, you can follow me on my other socials. I'm artistryxashh everywhere. And if you want more book content, I am Ashley with 2 H's .reads on TikTok and Instagram. So I think that covers everything. I will have all the palettes that I talked about listed down below. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. Turn this life into something that you can never run. So fight.